Deep in the undergrowth of a shadowed forest, the air grows heavy. To a human standing in the woods, a falling raindrop is nothing more than a minor inconvenience. But to an insect weighing less than a gram, a single drop of water is a falling meteor. High in the dark pine canopy, a massive swelling sphere of water gathers on a needle. Gravity pulls at it. The surface tension stretches, groans, and finally, it snaps. Directly below this plunging water bomb sits a bumblebee. If that drop hits, the impact will instantly shatter its delicate wings. Even a glancing blow will coat the insect in a heavy sphere of water, drowning it in a surface tension prison from which it cannot escape. It has milliseconds to react. But there is a fundamental problem. The bumblebee is heavily armored and it is massively overweight. Its fuzzy abdomen is thick and bulky, carrying a heavy payload of pollen and nectar. Looking closely at its anatomy, its wingspan is absurdly, laughably short. By all traditional laws of human aviation and fixed-wing aerodynamics, this biological machine is a structural failure. It cannot generate enough passive lift to get its heavy fuselage off the ground. If you built an airplane with these proportions, it would never leave the runway. But the bee doesn't care about human physics. As the barometric pressure drops, microscopic sensory hairs on the bee's back vibrate wildly. The onboard computers register the incoming atmospheric disturbance. The bee doesn't fly like an airplane. It flies like a high-revving, violently aggressive fluid dynamic helicopter. The tiny translucent wings snap outward, perpendicular to its armored body. They begin to blur. A deep, intimidating, low-frequency hum shakes the leaf it stands on. To understand how a heavy-lifting biological drone defies gravity and how it bends the atmosphere to its will in fractions of a second, we have to freeze time. We must dismantle the ultimate micro-rotor. Welcome to the thoracic engine room. If we look inside the chest cavity, the thorax, of a bird or a bat, we see muscles attached directly to the wing bones. The animal pulls the wing down and pulls it back up. It is a direct, linear, and relatively slow mechanical linkage. The bee discarded this design millions of years ago. Instead of directly pulling the wings, the bee's entire chest cavity acts as a resonant, spring-loaded biological engine block. Inside this armored box are massive bands of tissue known as the indirect flight muscles. They are divided into two opposing systems: the vertical muscles, running top to bottom, and the longitudinal muscles, running front to back. When the ignition fires, the vertical muscles violently contract. They physically squeeze the roof of the thorax downward, flattening the chest. Because the wings are attached to complex, free-floating mechanical hinges on the outside of the shell, this downward crush forces the wings to snap violently upward. Instantly, the vertical muscles relax and the longitudinal muscles fire. They squeeze the thorax from front to back, causing the chest to pop back out. This outward pop drives the wings into a brutal, high-speed downstroke. Up, down, up, down. The chest pulses and warps, driving the wings at an incomprehensible speed of 200 beats per second. But raw speed is not enough. If you take a flatboard and simply flap it up and down as fast as you can, you won't fly. You will only create useless, chaotic turbulence. To generate lift, the wing must physically rotate. At the end of every single stroke, a specialized clutch in the bee's wing hinge engages. the wing violently flips completely over. It sweeps forward at a steep angle, rotates 90 degrees, and sweeps backward at that exact same angle. This is known as supination and pronation. By flipping the wing, the bee acts as a dual rotor blade. It generates upward lift on the forward stroke, and it generates upward lift on the backward stroke. Yet, even with this dual action thrust, the wings are still too small for the weight of the fuselage. The true secret to the bee's levitation lies in how it weaponizes the air itself. As the wing slices through the atmosphere at a steep, aggressive angle of attack, the air molecules cannot simply flow smoothly over the surface. Instead, the air hits the front edge of the wing, rolls over the top, and violently spirals backward. It forms a microscopic, high-speed tornado. In fluid dynamics, this is called a leading edge vortex. This spinning cyclone of air creates an extreme, localized pocket of low pressure directly above the wing. Nature abhors a vacuum. The high-pressure air beneath the bee rushes up to fill that void. The vortex doesn't push the bee up. It literally sucks the heavy insect into the sky. If a human fighter jet attempts to pull its nose up too sharply, a similar vortex forms on its wings. But on a rigid jet, that vortex quickly detaches and blows away. The jet loses all its lift, stalls, and falls out of the sky. The bee prevents this aerodynamic failure with perfect timing. Right before the cyclone can detach and blow away, the bee's wing reaches the end of its stroke and violently flips. A brand new vortex instantly forms on the reverse stroke. The bee generates a continuous, unbroken chain of levitation, catching microscopic tornadoes and riding them upward. Running an engine at 200 revolutions per second requires massive amounts of metabolic fuel. The bee is running on ultra-high octane carbohydrates, pure concentrated flower nectar. As this fuel is injected into the biological cylinders, the sheer friction of the contracting muscles generates terrifying amounts of heat. If left unchecked, the thorax would literally cook the insect from the inside out in a matter of minutes. To prevent catastrophic thermal failure, the bee uses its own blood, the hemolymph, as an industrial coolant. The heart pumps this cool fluid rapidly from the abdomen, straight into the glowing hot engine block of the thorax, absorbing the thermal radiation and carrying it away to be safely dispersed. To control this violent, high-temperature engine, the bee relies on unparalleled computational power. Arrayed across the top of its head are three tiny, simple eyes called ocelli, dedicated solely to detecting the horizon line and ultraviolet light. Meanwhile, microscopic sensory hairs covering the wings act as localized pitot tubes, detecting micro-fluctuations in air pressure and wind shear. This sensory network sends instantaneous feedback to the thoracic ganglia, the onboard flight computer. It allows the bee to adjust the pitch, angle, and speed of its left and right wings entirely independently. It can increase the vortex size on the left wing while decreasing the right, allowing the heavy drone to strafe laterally, pivot on a dime, or hover perfectly motionless in mid-air. It is a biomechanical masterpiece. The engine is primed. The vortices are engaged. Gravity is conquered. With 300 milliseconds until the massive raindrop strikes, the bee's onboard computers execute the escape vector. The flight muscles contract with absolute maximum violence. The bee shoots violently upward and backward, escaping the kill zone by fractions of an inch. The meteor strikes the leaf below. A deafening crash of water explodes outward. A shockwave of displaced air ripples through the forest undergrowth. The sheer force of the turbulent wake hits the bee, throwing it violently off course. It tumbles backwards, spinning out of control, but the engine does not stall. The sensory hairs instantly calculate the chaotic wind shear. The bee adjusts its wing pitch by fractions of a millimeter, utilizing the spinning leading-edge vortices as gyroscopic stabilizers. The heavy fuselage levels out, the machine snaps back into a perfect upright hover. But the threat is not over. High above, the storm canopy is unleashing a barrage. Hundreds of massive raindrops plummet toward the forest floor. The bee must navigate an apocalyptic asteroid field of water bombs. It cannot outrun the rain. It must outmaneuver it. Firing the indirect flight muscles in asymmetrical bursts, it strafes laterally. Dodging a drop that narrowly misses its left wing, it slides perfectly sideways. Suddenly, a drop falls directly toward its center of mass. There is no time to strafe. The bee kills the engine. The wings instantly stop. The hum dies. The heavy insect drops like a stone, entering a terrifying freefall. The massive raindrop streaks through the exact space the bee occupied a millisecond prior, missing it entirely. But the forest floor is rushing up. Sharp thorns and jagged bark approach at lethal speed. The starter motor re-engages. The vertical muscles violently snap the thorax down. The wings deploy like a parachute. The microscopic tornadoes instantly reignite above the wings, violently sucking the bee upward and arresting its fall mere inches above a lethal thorn. The bee throttles up, climbing vertically back toward the canopy. But in the chaos, a microscopic satellite droplet of water grazes the edge of its right wing. It is a tiny amount of moisture, but at 200 beats per second, it adds massive, critical weight to the right side. The aerodynamic balance is instantly destroyed. The right leading edge vortex violently collapses under the disrupted airflow. The bee spins wildly, entering a death spiral. The onboard computers register the catastrophic gyro failure. The left wing instantly increases its beat frequency to an over-revving 250 Hz, generating a massive, oversized vortex to compensate for the lost lift on the right. Simultaneously, the sheer, violent centrifugal force of the spinning right wing acts like a whip, physically ripping the water droplet off the chitin surface and shattering it into mist. The wing is clear. The right vortex re-establishes. Equilibrium is instantly restored. The heavy fuselage locks back into a flawless level hover. The storm rages around it, chaotic and destructive, but the biological machine remains untouched. It climbs steadily through the barrage, a living drone perfectly adapted to a hostile atmosphere. Escaping the dark undergrowth, it bursts out from under the forest canopy and into the calm, clear sky above. The flight muscles cool. The engine drops its RPM to a steady cruising state. The Bumblebee is a living contradiction. It is a machine that human mathematics once claimed should not fly. Yet, it dominates the air through pure, calculated violence. It does not surf the wind. It beats the atmosphere into submission. Operating at the extreme limits of physics and fluid dynamics, it relies on millions of years of engineering to bend the air to its will. This is the Vortex Engine. This is instinct.